Whereas some artists like as Florence Ballard were immersed in the Motown hitmaking machine, while others, like this vocalist, discovered their callings and success in other aspects of the music industry, such as receptionists and songwriters. The centerpiece of today's video is all about Syreeta Wright. Before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push the notification bell to be sure you won't miss on any more uploads. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. Born Rita Wright on February 28, 1946 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. At the age of 4, Wright began singing. Her father was unalive while serving in the Korean War. Wright and her sister Kim were raised by their mother, Essie, and grandmother. The Wrights went back and forth between Detroit and South Carolina before settling in Detroit just before Wright started high school. Wright had her sights set on a musical career, and fortunately, her family relocated to Detroit when she was in her teens, and she has the skills to back up her ambition. Wright was unable to pursue a career in dance due to financial constraints, so she shifted her concentration to music, joining numerous singing groups until getting a position as a secretary for Motown in 1965. Within a year, she became Mickey Stevenson's secretary, exactly like Martha Reeves had done before her. She started as a secretary at the label and was subsequently found by Brian Holland, 1/3 of the Holland Dozier Holland songwriting team, who began utilizing her as a backup vocalist on several tracks and introduced her to Berry Gordy. He was so taken by Wright's singing that he signed her up and subsequently offered her the song I Can't Give Back the Love I Feel For You, co-written by Holland Ashford and Simpson and originally meant for Diana Ross. In Wright's hands, credit to Rita Wright, the record went well, particularly internationally, where she subsequently realized she had a sizable fan base.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting that one. Okay.
Can we go right back to start off with and talk a little bit about your first involvement with Tamla Motown? How did that come about?
Well, what happened is that I had an audition with Brian Holland, and through him I got a vocal contract, and after my mother went down and signed for me, so about a month after that happened, I think I was bugging him every day saying, well, okay, you got this contract on me, so what do you do now? I haven't been singing too much, you know. And so what happened is about a month and a half, 2 months later, I got together with a well-known writing, couple now, Nick Ashford and Valerie Simpson, and we did a 45 called I Can't Give Back the Love I Feel For You, which Holland Dozier Holland produced, and they wrote, and that was a total flop.
when did that single come out, Syreeta?
That was about 68, 69, something like that. That was my first involvement. And after that, Motown asked me to come and work as a secretary at the company so that I could be available to do background sessions and demos and sessions, period, and also work with the writers there.
Wright later met and fell in love with Stevie Wonder, and the two married in September 1970. At that time, she had adopted the stage name Syreeta. Wright also provided demo vocals for the Supreme Smash, Love Child, and Ross' rendition of Something on My Mind, which appeared on her self-titled first album. When Diana Ross left the Supremes in early 1970, Motown chairman Berry Gordy contemplated replacing her with Wright, but instead offered the position to Gene Terrell. According to many reports, Gordy subsequently changed his mind and attempted to replace Terrell with Wright. But this was refused by member Mary Wilson because Terrell had already been publicly introduced as the new lead vocalist in the media at the group's final performance under Ross' leadership. Wright also sang background on records by the Supremes and Martha and the Vandellas, notably singing the chorus to the group's modest hit single, "I Can't Dance to That Music You're Playing." On Wonder's advice, Wright became a songwriter, and their first collaboration, "It's a Shame," was recorded by the Spinners in 1969. Motown withheld its release until July 1970, and the song reached number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. Wright also began singing backing for Wonder, most notably on the hit Signed, Sealed, Delivered, "I'm Yours," which Wright co-wrote with Wonder. The couple then wrote and arranged songs for Wonder's "Where I'm Coming From," which was released much to Berry Gordy's chagrin in the spring of 1971. The Wonder-Wright composition, "If You Really Love Me," which also featured Wright prominently singing background vocals, reached number 8 in the US that year. In 1971, the couple relocated to New York City. In between working on Wonder's albums, Wright chose to pursue her own singing career. Motown moved the artist from its Gordy imprint, where "I Can't Give Back the Love I Feel For You" was launched, to Motown's Los Angeles-based Mo West subsidiary. Wonder and Wright experienced marital issues and split in the summer of 1972, ending their 18-month marriage. Following their divorce, Wonder oversaw the production of Wright's first solo album, Syreeta, which included her take of Wonder's "I Love Every Little Thing About You."
Love you so well.
From Music of My Mind, the Smokey Robinson classic What Love Has Joined Together, and the Beatles' She's Leaving Home, which featured both Wonder and Wright applying background vocals via the talk box. The Mo's released "I Love Every Little Thing About You" in late winter 1972, but it failed to chart. Wright remained Wonder's best buddy and continued to offer background vocals and compositions for the following 2 decades. Wright was moved again in 1974, this time to the Motown label, and released her second album. Stevie Wonder presents Syreeta, following the success of Minnie Riperton's "Perfect Angel," which Wonder also produced. Wonder desired to showcase Wright in the same light as Riperton as a seductive vocalist. The covers also looked extremely identical to one another. Riperton contributed backing vocals to the album, particularly at the end of the track Heavy Day. The album produced the UK singles "I'm Going Left,"
Till you lead me to the right, lead me to what is right. I'm going left till you lead me to the right, lead me to what is right.
"Spinning and Spinning,"
We're coming down, got a life I wanna live. I made to shower me with expensive gifts, and of course there's his love. I don't wanna be
and the reggae flavored "Your Kiss Is Sweet,"
but honey, beat your kisses by a million miles. You came and took my love.
which reached number 12 in 1975. The album also included a duet with G.C. Cameron, formerly of the Spinners. Wright's third album, 1-2-1, took 2 years to complete, with Leon Ware, who previously produced Marvin Gaye and Minnie Riperton, serving as the primary producer. The album includes Wonder's only creation, Grammar Love, which eventually achieved considerable popularity when being featured in the 2005 film Junebug. During this time, Syreeta also sang on 2 albums by American jazz saxophonist Gary Barr's Juju Man. "In Music Is My Sanctuary." In 1977, she collaborated with G.C. Cameron on a duo album. Rich Love, Poor Love, Wright's next project, occurred as a result of a fortuitous meeting with Billy Preston, who had signed with Motown in early 1979. Motown commissioned the two to work together on a pop ballad for the film Fast Break. Wright and Preston composed the film's soundtrack in their first collaboration, became an international success, peaking at number 4 in the United States and number 2 in the United Kingdom in early 1980. The popularity of the song prompted Motown to renew Wright's contract, which was set to expire that year with neither party seeking to renegotiate. Wright and Preston continued to collaborate into the early 80s, including the 1981 duet album, Billy Preston and Syreeta. Wright also sang on Billy Preston's performance on the first edition of Saturday Night Live on October 11, 1975. Wright continued to collaborate with Wonder at this time, performing lead vocals on their track Come Back as a Flower for Wonder's 1979 album, A Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants, and collaborating with Wonder on his 1980 song, As If You Read My Mind, for his Hotter Than July album. Wright continued to provide backing vocals until Wonder's 1995 album, His Conversation Piece. Wright continued to record for Motown throughout the 1980s, releasing her second self-titled album in 1980 in the funk boogie-oriented Set My Love in Motion in late 1981. The album included the modest R&B hit Quick Slick, which reached number 41 R&B in early 1982. During the same year, she contributed vocals to the title song for the Canadian slasher horror film Happy Birthday to Me, which starred Melissa Sue Anderson from Little House on the Prairie. Wright then released The Spell in 1983 and departed Motown 2 years later after collaborating with Smokey Robinson on the soundtrack to Berry Gordy's The Last Dragon in 1985. She temporarily recorded for Motor City Records before quitting from show business permanently in the mid-1990s and relocating to Los Angeles with her 4 children. In 1993, she joined the national touring cast of Jesus Christ Superstar as Mary Magdalene with original film actors Ted Neely and Carl Anderson. She continued with the cast until 1995. In 1997, she appeared on British soul artist Omar's album This Is Not a Love Song, singing the duet Lullaby. Wright got married 3 times and has 4 children. Her first marriage to longtime collaborator Stevie Wonder lasted 18 months from September 1970 to 1972. Wright married bassist Curtis Robertson Jr. in 1975 and they had 2 children. Wright and Robertson separated in 1982. Wright temporarily resided in Ethiopia in the mid-1970s, where she taught transcendental meditation. She finally relocated in Los Angeles, where she spent the remainder of her life. Sadly, Wright passed of congestive heart failure on July 6, 2004 at the age of 58 as a result of chemotherapy and radiation treatments for breast and bone cancer. Now, before we go, I have a question for you all. What is your favorite song from Syreeta Wright?